This video is brought to you by Skillshare. It's an online platform which I personally like to use to learn new things and improve my skills. They have thousands of creative classes in countless categories, including illustration, urban sketching, journaling, and classes I didn't even know I'd be interested in. Anyone can make a course and put it online, but what I like is that many of the classes here are taught by industry experts who have been working at their skills for years. And I also like the learn by doing approach, where members are encouraged to do the class projects and then share them with the teacher and other members for valuable feedback. It's all on demand, so I can learn at my own pace. Some classes I would recommend. I think this class by Lisa is great for those who want to get started with learning how to use Procreate. And the exercises look so fun and simple. And there's this odd bodies. Now this does look really fun. I think I'll have to check this out later. I do like this class by Marie Noel Worm. Kind of pushes me to think in different ways than how I normally would in terms of art. I learned a few new things from this class, so I do recommend it. Look, I do the projects. With all this, it makes it easy to cultivate a daily habit of learning something new every day. And here's a gift from Skillshare to you. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can get started today. Today, we're gonna learn how to draw people and how to draw them quickly. First, why learn to draw people? Everyday scenes often have people in them, especially if you're living in a city. And I feel that drawing scenes without people doesn't make the scene feel complete enough. But including people into the scene and showing how they are interacting with the environment usually ends up being a better depiction of what the place is all about. They can just be representative, just enough to tell the basic facts of how they look like, what they're wearing, and what they're doing. Sometimes I find I don't even have to put in the facial features. There are many effective approaches to drawing people, but personally I like the contour drawing approach, which relies heavily on observation. What I like about this style is that it's quick and it's pretty suitable for urban sketching because we're often drawing people in location where they're moving around pretty quickly. So this is going to be a tutorial where I'll share my approach to drawing people. For this exercise, here are the materials I will use. Get a piece of paper. This is A4, so I'm going to fold it into half. Basically, we want a smaller area to draw. A black pen that has waterproof ink. That means the ink is not going to bleed when I do a wash over it. I'm just using a disposable uniball broad with waterproof ink. A tool that can fill black areas more quickly. I'm using a marker. And then something you can create midtones with. Here we just need to create a light midtone and a darker midtone. I'm using watercolor and just using one color. Let's do a warm-up exercise before the actual exercise. Let's get an A5 and draw 2 small boxes like this. So we're going to practice drawing an entire shape really quick. One thing I want you to do is to lock your eyes onto the shape as you're drawing. You can glance at your pen drawing on the paper as many times as you like, but each time you glance at your paper, you can only do it for 1 second. Let's do this really fast within 1 minute. Remember to lock your eyes onto the shape. Take note of the angles. Like, I think this is a 45-degree angle or so forth. Okay, just looking at roughly this part comes around this part here. This part goes around at this angle. And then this angle here. It's almost like a claw, like a crab claw. Okay, so this is the first shape. It's okay to bleed out a bit. Now for the second shape here. It looks complicated, but just don't think so much and just go for it. Keep it fast. You do want to get the angles right and the rough proportions. If you can, hold your gaze onto the shape a little longer than you normally would at one time. So at this point, if you want to think that, okay, you want to start from here instead, you can just continue from here. Okay, this part is higher than this, well. Here. So now, this is what you have been drawing. This is a shape of the Singapore Zoo on a map. And this is a little kid. Did you feel any different when you're drawing this shape and this shape? So can we conclude that there isn't much difference between drawing a shape on a flat map and a shape of a little human, right? Now let's practice drawing people with this exact way of drawing. So the way that most of us draw people is we draw the head separately and then the rest of the body. But we're not going to do this time. Instead of breaking the body parts up, we're going to draw the whole silhouette of the person together and then break it up into small essential shapes. Just enough to tell the basics of what this person looks like, what the person's wearing, and the person's pose. Some crease lines, add solid black areas where the shadows are the darkest, then add the midtones, light midtone and dark midtone. That's it. Now I won't speed the video up. Let's draw people together. Get your pen. Divide your page into 6 boxes, and they don't need to be perfectly straight. We just want the constraint of having a small space to draw so that we will draw really small and we don't fuss around too much with the details. Take note that you might end up drawing a bit too big and overshoot the lines, and that's going to be perfectly okay. I'm not going to show the reference very big because you're going to be caught up with the details. So you can start anywhere. I'm doing a colored silhouette shape for you so you can see the outer shape I'm tracing first. If this is your first time, don't try to rush too much. Focus more on getting the very first shape as accurate as possible. So the first thing I'm doing is getting the overall silhouette shape as one shape first. There. And then separate out the key essential details. For example, the skin color, the glove, anything that helps anything that's essential to defining this picture. Only the essentials. Okay, and then maybe the arm, this line here, which I see in the picture, and this arm here, and there's a separation between the jacket and the pants. Just adding some blacks where if I squint my eyes, I can see some things go really black. So I'm just gonna quickly block that in. Not trying to be too careful. As you can see, I don't even need to draw the eyes and the mouth, and it will look like a person looking up. Now I'm going to just add, it looks like the jacket is darker mid-tone. Oops, oh no. It's okay, adding more water, then becomes a gray. And then the pants, it's just a bit lighter, so there we go. And the hat. Alright, we're done with the first figure. If you want, you can add glasses. That's okay. Just representative. The next one, the overall outer shape. Think of it as a flat shape on the map. Don't try to think of it as this is a head or leg or whatever. Just think of it as a shape on a map. This is just happens to be a country or a location on a map that looks like this person. If you make a line that is wrong, just go over again and correct it. Don't be afraid of the mistakes. Okay, now we're going to separate any essential shapes that define the picture. So I think the skin shape here. Hand shapes. The shape that separates the top from the bottom of the body. And this line that defines how the arm is bending. And where the pants end. Okay, so yes, this shape here too. And then I look for any major crease lines, and you can find those by finding where the crease on the outfit have very deep dark shadows or darker shadows. So it seems to be here. Getting the angle of these lines are pretty important. Eyes there. Adding blacks where they belong quickly. The important thing is to make it a very simple black areas, color end to end. Don't leave any unnecessary parts that are uncolored and white. Just do an oversimplification. If you see any shines on the hair, just ignore that. This is just supposed to be representative. If you can tell the story that this is a lady jogging and her limbs are in this position, that is good enough. Just want to mix a very light tone for her jacket. Maybe lighter. Maybe even lighter. Just adding more water. Okay. And that's it. We can of course go into more and more detail, but we just want to stop when it is clear enough what this person is doing or just the bare essentials of the person. So I'm going to start with the shoulder here and ignore what I'm drawing. It's just a shape on a map. No different. Okay, take note of the angle. What angle is this? Kind of like this. Take note of the inside shape as well as the shapes outside, or some people call it the positive and the negative shape. Okay, this angle goes here, this angle tilts backwards, goes here, and then we can touch where is this thing that's sticking out here, which represents the head. Okay, so if it's slightly off, it's okay. Like if you want to just correct it, that's okay too. And then break up just break up the shape into just the bare essentials. Make sure you're drawing this really small, because the bigger you go, you'll be tempted to add in more and more detail, and this will end up being too stressful. Okay, the blacks. If I squint my eyes, this part, I see a black shape that looks like in this form. There's some black here. I squint my eyes, I see some blacks here. There's a black shape there. And there's a black shape here with a small little gap. And then I don't want to be too careful. If you happen to just make the whole leg black, it might be okay too. Okay, let's just color him. The pants is a bit darker. The top is a bit lighter. Okay, we're done. Now there's a person with an object and there's a little person. How are we going to do this? We can combine both of them together. Sometimes it's easier, but sometimes it can be too complicated. So, well, let's just see how it goes. I'm going to just combine this person and this shape here. Remember, see it as a shape. Okay, I can combine the chair together with the person. I can try. Let's just see if I can do this. I think up to here, I'm kind of losing track of where I am. So I'm going to just continue from this side. And then just follow the bump. Now we'll separate this into the bare essentials. So I think let's separate the hand from these cars. Let's draw all the cars together first. And then let's separate the head from the clothing, the feet from each other, and the jacket from the dress. Hair, just representative. Any major lines and major crease lines, like that. Put in the blacks. Put in the mid-tones. I think the jacket's a bit darker, so let's just fix that first. Ignore any highlights. If you want to keep it simple. Shadow, you can just see the shadow as a shape as well. So there's a shape of a shadow here. Shape of a shadow. This one is darker. And it's darker here. And this part is darker. Okay, actually this is kind of almost black here. You can make this black too. A person walking along a street. They'll be moving really fast, so we have to capture this really fast. So let's see how fast we can do this. Keep your eyes on the person as you're drawing, but glance at your paper every now and then, just for a second, and then look back at the picture. Don't worry if there's anything that's a bit off. Okay, now separate the essential parts like the hand shape, from the bag, it from the clothes. The pants from the shoes may not be so important. black parts. Squint my eyes to see it. Squint my eyes. This part gets pretty dark. And this whole part looks pretty dark to me. Actually, his whole head looks pretty dark to me. Okay. And then let's just make his pants kind of lightish. And his bag. And that's it. Should be enough. We don't have to define the details of the shoes unless you want to go into more detail. Okay, the last one, there are two people. Hold the pen further back. It'll help you to relax. Start from any part. You can start from the head or any part. So you can, and you can also jump to any other part. Like supposing you just want to stop here, just want to continue here, you can do that too. But the main thing is to keep your eyes on the thing as you're doing. Don't worry if you make any mistakes. Think of it as a shape on a map. All those things, I guess I'm just saying it over and over just as a reminder. And sometimes it's just about comparing it, like when does this part end? It's a bit higher than this foot, so that's how I'm judging where it should be. Okay, so now just the bare essentials. Separate this big black part from, oops, there we go. The hand, the other hand. Ooh, where is this part here? Oh, the other hand, and there's the lady's hand here. Line goes up there. There is this sweater hairline. Yeah, we can separate the hairline from the face. That's another thing to separate. And if you want to just put 2 dots for eyes. And okay, and the hand here. Okay, so it's a bit distorted, but it's just practice. And if this was in an urban sketching picture, it's representative of people walking. Is okay if they look slightly distorted. I think that's still clear enough that they are people just walking along the street. Here we can just see the tonal values. Any part that looks a bit darker, let's just do that. Well, maybe just the side of his face. If you want to pay attention to some highlights here, just a bit, not overdoing it. Side of her face. And that's it. Notice I joined the two people together as one. It helps to lock in the positioning really quickly. So if you got to the end, congratulations. Try practicing this outdoors as you're looking at real people. And that will be the best training to draw even faster than what we did here. So hopefully this makes drawing people a little easier and less scary for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.